All right, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Ephraim. Today's date, January 28, 2023. I'm back at you with another one. Now, in this presentation, I want to bring forth, it was recently brought to my attention. I came across a story of a man who said he essentially died, and his soul left his body, his spirit, um, but instead of going to heaven, he says that God took him and showed him hell. Now, in the world that we live in, I mean, this has been going on for since the beginning. We have everyone wants to be a critic or a skeptic or a cynic. No one believes anything. Everything is a hoax, or it's not true. I mean, and when you look at the amount of people, the percentage of people on this earth that don't believe that there's a higher power, I mean, then of course it makes more sense. But um, this brother right there, this brother right here, man, I don't want to, give it away just yet because I'm going to play the clip for you. Then I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary. But I'm me personally, I'm definitely open minded to these things because any of you who knows my personal, testimony knows that I've had several visitations and I've never been taken to hell. I don't even know if my spirit could even take that. But the brother speaks of that. He said he was angry at God because why would you bring me here? Like he said he's always done good and helped people, and but you'll see it when you see it when you hear the testimony. But for those that know me and know my testimony, know that um Jesus himself, Yeshua Hamashiach, came to me. And one thing the brother did say in his testimony is that sometimes he gets emotional talking about it, and I can attest firsthand that there's definitely an emotion attached to any type of visitation like that. I was emotional when Jesus came to me and I heard his voice and I told him I loved him and he said he loved me and he called me by my name, and that voice was like no other. I've never heard a voice like it since. And he had his hands on my head, and I knew I was good, and it was the most peaceful feeling I've ever felt in my life. I've never felt that feeling, man. I can't describe it. The next day, I was an emotional wreck. Like, I mean, I was driving on the freeway, not knowing where the heck I'm going. I mean, I was, tears in my eyes, just kind of crying. It was just, it's an experience, man. It's an emotional one. If anyone has ever experienced anything close to that, you know what I mean. Like, I petitioned God to, who am I? What would you have me do? And it started my whole transformation to get me here where I'm at right now started then when Jesus came to me, and when I was pretty much face to face with Satan, and I started running from Satan, in this dream, in this vision or whatever. And I was just crying out to God to help me. And I was running and I was running, running, running. Next thing you know, I was being lifted up, and I was being lifted up into the heavens. And I could, and before I know it, I was floating in the heavens. And, I felt these hands like guiding my head, like, or something. And I'm trying to turn around to see his face to see who it was, but he wouldn't let me see his face. And so I felt safe. I felt protected. And, I just kind of took a deep breath and I said, I love you, Jesus, because that's the only name I knew him by. And he said, I love you too. He responded to me. So, like, y'all don't even understand. I didn't even see his face. I felt his hands and I heard his voice. And just that experience alone, man, I'm serious. Like there's definitely an emotion attached to an experience like that. I can attest to that, firsthand. And the punchline to that story, and I give that testimony, is that at the time I was a full-fledged practicing Muslim. And so, needless to say, the Bible says, Jesus said, "My sheep know my voice, and a stranger they won't follow." So, needless to say, man, I pretty much wasn't a Muslim no more after that. Like, I mean, really, that did it for me. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? It was just like, because even as a full-fledged Muslim, I represented for Jesus so hard, people misunderstood it, thought I was a Christian. And the thing is, next, nah, and I'm not a Christian, but it's just there's something about Jesus I always attached myself to, and I never denounced him, or I never did, none of that. So, he was from a little boy. But anyway, I don't want to get too much into that. I'm going to go ahead and play this clip, let y'all hear this brother's story, and I'm gonna come back with the rest of my commentary. And this brother's name is Gerald Johnson. Okay, like I said, I don't know how long this video's been out or whatever, but it just came to my attention, so I want to bring it forth because I have a personal attachment to what he's saying, and I do believe him, just for the record. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and play the clip for y'all and come back with the rest of my commentary.
So is it true that you saw hell?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I saw the real hell. I was there. And I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy. I don't care what a person has done to me. I would never wish that on them. But for me, the way it went is that I thought that I was having a heart attack. And my spirit left my physical body. And I thought that I was going upward, but because thought I had done so much good in this lifetime and helped so many people and made so many decisions that were godly decisions. But as opposed to me going up, I went down. And I went literally into the center of the earth. And that's where hell is. Jesus even said that in the scriptures. He says, just as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of a whale, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the earth, which is where hell is. The things that I saw were literally undescribable, and it just makes me emotional every time I talk about it. But it was one of the things that I saw that just blew me away was there's a man on all fours like a dog. He was burned from the crown of his head to the soles of his feet, and his eyes were bulging out. And what was worse than that is that he had a chain around his neck. So he was like a dog in hell. And what was even worse than that is that who was holding the chain? It was a demon holding the chain. And I knew, because they're not said, they're known. It's like a telepathic communication. I knew that this demon was sent in this man's life to ride him from his childhood until the time that he died, because the demon knew that if I could stay in his life long enough on the earth, if I can keep getting him to not serve God and to make bad decisions on the earth, then I'll have power over him in hell and he'll be a slave to me. So it's like twice a slave. It's like you're a slave on the earth to the things of the devil, and then in hell you're really like a tormented dog slave. And then there was another part that I experienced that just blew me away. It still baffles me to this day. There was a section in hell where music was playing. And it was the same music that we hear on the earth, but as opposed to entertainers singing it, the music demons were singing it. And it was some of the same lyrics that we hear here. And then again, things, like I said, they're not things that are not telepathically, things are telepathically known there. I knew that on earth, a lot of the lyrics and the music and the songs are inspired by demons. So sometimes when people smoke to get high and to get lyrics and to get verses and rappers and all those things. So in a lot of music, people actually smoke to get high, to get verses and to get bars and to be hot and to be fresh and to get that swag. But when they open themselves up to a false high, it's like illegal access into the spirit realm. They actually come in contact with demons who give them lyrics for the purpose of controlling people on the earth. So here, music is for like to get over a breakup. Don't worry, be happy. I busted windows out your car, or under my umbrella, or whatever. Every lyric to every song is to torment you as to the fact that you didn't worship God through music when you were on the earth. So it's like, you had a chance to worship him in church and worship him at home and worship him through music, but you chose to worship Satan by repeating the lyrics that he inspired to come into the earth. So there's people there for that, because music is very controlling. And I was angry with God, because it's like, how did I do this much good and I'm actually in hell? Well, I lifted up out of hell and I came back on the earth, and God began to speak to me. I actually saw the real Jesus. I saw him, and he began to speak to me, and he said, you have been secretly upset with the people that hurt you. You have been hoping that I would punish the people that hurt you. He said, these are not your people, these are my people. He says, I only want you to focus on the assignment that I'm giving you, because I want to do something through you that the world hasn't seen. And so the root of it is that although I did good, I gave a lot to people, I did a whole lot of good things, the thing that I had in my heart was unforgiveness towards people who had did me wrong. Because a person that can't forgive is a person that's forgotten how much they have been forgiven of. So that's my experience with hell. Hell is a real place, and I don't believe that God doesn't send people to hell. People send themselves to hell. And whatever's still left inside of you that God has been trying to get out of you that you die with, that's going to determine where you go. God's going to want to know, did you learn to love well? Did you learn to forgive well? Did you serve me well? Did you do something greater than your life? Did you do anything that has eternal significance, or is everything selfish? So I thank God for the light. It was Jesus, because of that light, I won't see any more days in hell.
I didn't sense any deception in that brother's words, his, body and eye movements at all. I believe him, and I also believe and understand his disappointments. Like, what am I doing here? I've lived my life trying to help people, trying to do the right thing. I felt that, he was just speaking honestly, you know, um, I believe him. I just hope and pray that, the Most High never shows me hell. I don't know if I could take that. Like, I'm just being honest. Nah, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, but, for those of you who aren't familiar, the apocalypse of Peter, Jesus took Peter to hell. And, if you ever have a chance, Google the apocalypse of Peter in a PDF. You should get it online somewhere for free or whatever. Um, and ironically, the apocalypse of Peter was supposed to, it was almost in the place of the book of Revelation. But from my understanding, the vote on rather the apocalypse of Peter should make the canon fell like one vote short or whatever. So we were like one vote away from having the apocalypse of Peter in the place of Revelation. And if any of you are familiar with Revelation, that doesn't even, knowing what we know now, there's no way that the Most High would have allowed the apocalypse of Peter to take the place of Revelation. That's just how important, Revelation is or whatever, and the things in that and things are going to take place and, so on and so forth. So, I believe him. Hellhounds. Now that's a, people think that's a myth, but that's basically what he described. Literally saw a hellhound, and hellhounds is not a dog. You, the human, you the dog. When you do your dirt and go to hell, you the hound, you the dog on the leash. That's what the brother was describing. The chain around the neck with the eyes bulging. And that's crazy. That's crazy, man. But, again, you take it for what it's worth. Y'all can tell me what y'all think and believe, in the comment section. But, I believe him. I do. I believe him, man. And, that's why I say I don't judge anyone, man. I don't. I know who I am. And to the very best of my ability, I try to do what thus said the Lord. When he calls me to do something, or he's giving me an assignment, I've completed it. And maybe my assignment is not done yet. I don't know, but I try my best to walk with the Most High. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? So, doing the right thing, that's a part of it. That definitely a part. Being a good person, that's definitely a part of it. But what the brother said is true. It's more than just doing the right thing or doing good things, doing good deeds. I mean, that's a thing. But have you worshiped God? Have you spoke of His name and given Him the glory and the praise that He deserves? Have you worshiped Him? Through your music, vice, being writing, in Satan influenced lyrics or demonic lyrics, that's why I personally believe that the Most High wasn't going to allow me to really just become totally engulfed with the music industry, because I was around some of the biggest names in music and in sports. Here I am riding shotgun with Deion Sanders, man, the greatest defensive cornerback or whatever that played the game, and I'm in his Mercedes. They wanted me to write his album. I'm with the biggest rappers, the biggest everything. Death Row. I was around there. All of that. But I've seen and heard a lot in that industry, and I know for a fact, firsthand, man, that the music industry and the entertainment industry, period, man, it's demonic. I used to hear stuff like that back in the day. I used to kind of brush it off like, people, folk just hating. No, man. Listen, certain people makes it, whatever. My soul was never for sale. Period. Point blank. I don't care nothing about no. Let me tell you something. I was around some of the biggest gangsters too. My right hand man did 5 years in the feds on a major drug charge. He was always trying to get me to, when I started my label to sell drugs to really, get it going, get it popping. And I was like, nah, if I got to sell drugs to my people to get my label popping, it ain't gonna get popping. And I resisted that. Like I don't care. And I'm not judging nobody who did. You do what you do. But as for me personally, I wasn't finna sell no drugs just so I can quote unquote make it by destroying my people. Nah, I'm good on that. Because let me tell you something, man. All those cats that got all that money off those drugs and those lives and families that they destroyed, you best believe they're gonna have to give an account for that, man. Money is not my God. Never has been, never will be. I'm good. If I got to sell out my people or destroy or hurt my people for some money, well, I guess I won't have none then. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not with it. So anyway, y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section about that experience. Y'all share, and any one of you listening to this have an experience to share, by all means, share it. And I just ask that you all, be respectful and mindful of each other and don't disrespect anyone and call them out of their name, even if you would disagree with what they're saying or whatever. Say what you got to say respectfully. No name calling. All right. So that's it, man. Until next time, let's talk to Ephraim signing off, saying Shalom, elect.